Hey, what's going on, guys? Andrew here, and if you can see, I'm without a sling. I was actually without a sling in my other video too. I'm kind of well enough to where I can at least move around and function without a sling, so that's at least good. I'm recovering slowly but surely. Obviously, continuing on with my decades video here, and I'm glad that you guys enjoy it. I gotten a lot of responses and stuff, so thanks guys for always checking in. I really like your responses. As always, there are movies that don't make my list, or I keep forgetting movies. Like last week for my 90s one, I actually skipped a movie, and I forgot to I think I had 14 movies in there if I recounted that correctly. The 15th movie was The People Under the Stairs, but I also completely forgot to put in Halloween H2O, which would have been number 2 on my list of 90s films. Yeah, I'd say number 2 on my list of 90s films. So that actually is like, how did I forget that? I think I had it in there and then I put it back. But yeah, that would have been a complete mess up. And yeah, I probably forgot one again today, but actually, I was talking to my brother over the weekend about this list, and I was like, I think I might have a hard time, getting 15 movies out of, 2000, 2004, 2005 to 2009, but actually, this actually has been probably the hardest list to make. I've had the most video films that I actually really love that I had to just not have in this video. I will give them honorable mentions, obviously. Cabin Fever and The Descent don't make my list, and Cabin Fever 2 doesn't make my list for 2005 to 2009. Valentine, as you guys, I had a review on that last Valentine's Day. I really liked it. I really love that one. The Mothman Prophecies, I love that film. The Grudge and Ju-On the Grudge is ones that I absolutely love. I love those films, and it's just so many good films that I had to leave them off. Also, The Ghost Ship, another one of my favorite. Anything that takes place on a boat, it'd be really hard. You'd have to have a terrible movie to not have me like it. I grew up loving boats, and like for some odd reason. And then also George Romero's Land of the Dead. This is one of my personal favorites of the Dead trilogy, and I just had to leave it off. I mean, I'm so disappointed that some of these. Also, my other list is going to be just as painful to leave off some. So, but yeah. Gonna start off my list here. Alright, starting it off here is gonna be The Devil's Rejects. Because I put this in 2005. I know this is 2005, but I did put this one in with this one because it wouldn't have made my other one, so I just kind of wanted to put it in. I love this film. I like House of a Thousand Corpses too, just like Devil's Rejects, just a little bit better. Really awesome film. I did a review on it, 2 weeks ago, so you already know my thoughts on that. Next up is Final Destination. Really like this film. I like every film in this series. This one, I rewatched them again over summer. They just don't have a film that I dislike in it. Next up is 13 Ghosts. Now this is one that I just really like this for some reason. Like, it's just a special effects, ridden kind of movie. This is the same guy who directed Ghost Ship, so it's got kind of that same style. It's got some MTV edits into it. Those are like the quick jump cuts to jump scares, or jump cuts where it's just jumping around everywhere and you can't tell what's going on. It's got some of that, but it's got, Matthew Lillard's in this, Shannon Elizabeth's in this. There's just fun characters, and it's just super fun. Next up is Scream 3. I do like this movie. It came out in 2000. Yeah, this is just a fun movie. It's not very scary. It's just got a fun story to it. I appreciate it. Next up is the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I really liked the remake. I thought it did a good job. It was, you know, it was pretty... it had really interesting characters, and, you know, it had Jessica Biel in it. So, and the guy who played Leatherface did a good job, and it just was shot really well. Just all around a solid remake. Up next, my favorite movie in this franchise, and that's the original Saw. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? It's James Wan. I don't have to say anymore. I love the themes of that movie. I love the everything, the morality of the tales and everything like that. It's really good. Up next is a British film, and that is Dog Soldiers. Yeah, I love this film. It's an action horror film, and it works really well. It's definitely got some good action, but you know the thing is, the only thing I would say I dislike is like the werewolves look kind of cheap looking. You can definitely tell that they don't like have them in a center of the movie, just because it's like, well, they just didn't have the budget to show good werewolf effects. But up next is another werewolf movie, and my brother's gonna kill me for putting this ahead of it, but Cursed. I love this movie. I get conflicting of whether or not it came out in 04 or 05. I'm gonna say 04. It doesn't matter for this list anyways. But Jesse Eisenberg, you know, it's got Shannon Elizabeth, Christina Ricci, and I can't remember the guy's name. Is it Joshua Jackson who's that? Yeah, but it was directed by Wes Craven. This is what you get whenever Dimension slashes your budget and you didn't get Matthew Lillard, Skeet Ulrich, and all the other stars from... also, who was it? The girl from... the main character from, from Ginger Snaps. Man, I forget her name, but she was also Catherine Isabel. She was supposed to be in this movie as well, but budget, Dimension screwed this movie up. But honestly, it's still a guilty pleasure fun movie for me. Up next is another childhood favorite, and that would be the first Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, this movie is such an awesome movie. Honestly, all of these next movies, I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm on number 7 right now. Honestly, any of these movies from 7 to 1 could be interchanged. I could have this at number 1 at any given day. That'd be fine with me. It's got such good characters. Man, I can't remember his name now. Justin Long does such a good job, and Victor Salva is, you know, say what you want about him personally, but he is such a fantastic director. And this is a unique premise, unique film. It's really well shot. Yeah, it's just got such good characters in it too. Up next is my second or my first favorite horror comedy. That is Eight-Legged Freaks. Oh my god, this movie is just such a blast. Like, all you need to do is watch this movie and you'll just be laughing your ass off for an hour and a half. It is so fun. And this has the single most attractive mother-daughter relationship in it. Carrie, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I'm going to say W-U-H-R-E-R, so pronounce that. And Scarlett Johansson. Like, yeah. Number 5, might be a surprise that I have this high, but Shredder. Oh, just every single time that, you know, I even during the summer when I drive for my like U-Hauls, like when I go back home and stuff with my grandfather, and you know, we'll pass like what it's called Happy Valley, not Penn State Happy Valley, but it's a ski resort. And we pass it, and there are lodges up there, and then there's also another one that we pass up through the way, and it just gets me in the mood to watch this. And I visit Seven Springs every winter when I'm back home, and every time I just want to watch this movie over and over, and it's so much fun. It's such a bad film, but it's got some good kills, and it's got some fun characters. Again, I've said this before, but if you want to watch an 80s movie set in the 2000s, that's like it. Like, it doesn't pretend to be an 80s movie, but it feels like it. Number 4, just inching that out, is Cherry Falls. The thing that inches this one out is just, it's got such fun characters. Like, you just, again, you look back on this movie and you think, this doesn't have any good kills in it. Like, it's not that good, it's not very gory. You can definitely tell it was, like, cut by the MPAA. The nudity's non-existent, but the characters in this movie are just so damn good, and Michael Biehn's in this from the first Terminator from Kyle Reese, so it's just such a good movie. Number 3. Oh, man. Number 3, I'm going to go with Signs. I changed this up last minute, but you may not think of this as a typical horror film, but it's a thriller horror film, and it scares the shit out of me every time I watch it, so I'm going to count it as a horror film because it's so scary. Shyamalan's one of my favorite directors. He's top 5 for me. And I think that this movie is my favorite of his, and I just think he does such a good job with this film. It's so scary. It's got such a interesting premise. Got such good characters. Mel Gibson does a phenomenal job in this movie. Yeah. I don't know how the hell Shyamalan always gets all these star actors to star in these low-budget films that he does. I just don't know. He does such a good job with it, though. Number 2 is Jeepers Creepers 2. Again, another Victor Salva film that I just love this movie to death, man. It's just such a good... I like this one better than the first one, just by a little bit, just because that it's got such a good action, and it's got such good... I don't know, like the character dynamics in this, and I love the dad in this movie. I can't remember his name. I don't see if he's on the top. No, he's not there. Ray Wise. Yeah, he's there. He is as one of my favorite characters. He's my favorite character in this whole series. I know there's a third one coming out, and it's been in limbo for years. We'll see if he can ever get the rights to make another movie again. I hope so, because I do think this story deserves more of a stories. There just seems more to this story that you could tell. And number 1. Shouldn't surprise too many people, but the third werewolf movie, and surprisingly as much of a fan as I'm not really that big of a fan of werewolf movies, but this one tops this list, and that is Ginger Snaps. Catherine Isabel and Emily Perkins do just lights out performance in this movie, and oh man, I can't remember her name in this movie. Mimi Rogers. She's the mom in this movie. You know, it's just such a good story. Like, it's just like, it's not that like, well, like, it's not a scary movie whatsoever. Like, it's got some creepy parts to it, and it's got some good jump scares, but like, it's just such a good story, and the ending of it is one of the most gut-wrenching endings like ever. It's such a good story. So yeah, that's going to do it for my top 15. Again, I could have forgotten some, probably did, but those are the top 15 that I saw, plus whatever honorable mentions I had. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this list. Thanks guys for tuning in. You'll be, hopefully tune in to my 05 to 09. Yeah, I'll be filming it and uploading them right after each other. So enjoy guys, have a great day, and tune in for my part 2 of this decade's list. Peace.